So the remaining steps after you've identified the problem, now that we know what the error is, we're going to find the source of the error, which I actually kind of already did that. What caused the line of code to be wrong? Was it a typo? Was it a badly defined edge case? Was it the logic of the program itself? In this case, it's actually the problem is the logic of the program, because the way I conceptualized the program when designing this, it was the problem was not with the code. It wasn't typos that was causing me problems. The problem was the way the program was designed. And in this case, I had to change the logical arguments of the program so that it did the numbering correctly of the elements of the string. So then what you have to do is fix the problem at its source. So once you know where the problem is, you want to fix the problem. Sometimes it's straightforward. Sometimes it's like fixing a typo, such as when I had false spelled wrong. Other times it can be more involved. Fun fact, there are some times when it's necessary to just dump an entire block of code and start from scratch. Like, that's basically the programming equivalent of the #1 tried and true method for dealing with computer programs. Turn it off and then turn it back on. All else fails, reset to everything and start over. That's the sometimes that's all it takes. Let's see. So there's many times where, you know, it may not be worth trying to fix bad code. And I myself kind of fall into this trap where I have this kind of naive gung-ho attitude of, we can do this, let's make it happen. And then you're like, you really should just abandon what you have and just start over, because trying to fix this hot mess that you have, it's sort of like you might as well burn down your house for the insurance money and just build a new one rather than trying to like clean it. Like, that's maybe an extreme example. Insurance companies might not agree with that course of action, but
I'm pretty sure that's very illegal.
Yeah, that's maybe not the best example, but anyway, but the point is, sometimes you just gotta start over. Yeah, so let's see here. So we fixed the problem. There are days when I do look at my messy house from these stinking kids, and I'm like, maybe I should just burn it down and get the insurance money and build a new house. Like, I feel like that would be better than trying to deal with this. Let's see. So there's a handful of typos here. So that actually needs to be -1, because this is a fun example of the IDE trying to help you. You notice how those are both highlighted in blue, but then the actual operations are in orange. So that's how I can tell at a glance. That's not going to be good. So we're going to change that right there. And then we've seen this here. This is what I was talking about. This is a good example of issue 6, actually, where it's like, check for similar cases everywhere. Well, I've had like 3 or 4 cut and pasted copies of pretty much the same code, and every single one of them had this typo where I spelled false wrong the first time. And so as I'm showing this to you, I'm even demonstrating like, hey, if it was a problem there, it was probably a problem over here too. But anyway, let's run this and see what happens. So you put like AAA, and there you go. It's a palindrome. Now that we've done this, we can actually take out these extra lines we added, because we don't necessarily need to show the users all the gory details. You know, you don't want to show people how your hot dogs are made. You just want to kind of give them a hot dog and hope they don't ask too many questions. So we can kind of conceal what we're doing here. They don't need to see that. It's a palindrome. How about that? All right. So we fixed the problem. It's good to retest the code so you can test other things like AAA and then test things that are not. I don't know why I put ABC twice. Or you could do this here where it's, let's see. So you could do ABC, and it's like that. It's not a palindrome. You're darn tootin', it's not a palindrome. And you could try other fun palindromes. There's this one I kind of like: a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. It's a nice summing up of our good friend Teddy Roosevelt here. He was a man with a plan for a canal in Panama. That is a palindrome. Another palindrome. A lot of people have told me that these were Napoleon's last words. Able I was ere I saw Elba. And a lot of people are like, did you know that Napoleon's last words were able I was ere I saw Elba? And it's like, bro, he was French. He totally would have said his last words in French, just saying. And by all accounts, it was actually like the name of like Josephine, which was like the chick he was like super into. So that it's not a did I Able Elba is that not a palindrome this entire time? I could have. All right, well, maybe it was air saw I Elba. Anyway, I'm getting let's see, able I was air saw. Oh yeah, it'd have to be a saw I Elba. Okay, that is a palindrome. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so this is another fun historical flair there. Don't go around telling people Napoleon said that, because like he would have he didn't speak English. But anyway, let's see. Random fun fact about Napoleon. Since he actually grew up in Corsica, his native language was actually Italian, and then the Tsar of Russia at the time, Alexander the First, the court language in Russia was actually French at the time. So yeah, there was actually a time when the French emperor met the Russian Tsar, and the Russian Tsar threw some shade on him by correcting Napoleon's French, because the Russian Tsar spoke French better than the French emperor. How do you like that? Anyway,
that's gonna be what happens when I rule America.
People correcting your grammar. All right. Anyway, so check for similar cases. If one calculation was faulty in one place, it's probably faulty in other places. Often programmers will copy and paste blocks of code. It can replicate bugs. Fun fact, I inadvertently demonstrated that because there were like 4 versions of this program in the lecture notes. And since I copy and pasted all the time, false was misspelled in every single place. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Replicating. So if there's one place where it's wrong, it's probably going to be wrong other places. Likewise, if you thought about the problem incorrectly from the beginning, you might have made the same mistake multiple times. Let's see, does the fix apply to other places? So in this code, other than the inadvertent demonstration of spelling false wrong every time, this will fix the code. So anyway. All right, let's stop there for today, shall we?